For over a decade, U.S.-Iran relations have been a roller coaster, from broken deals to airstrikes, assassinations, and diplomacy that barely sticks. But over the last month, President Trump's approach has been shifting almost daily. So what does the U.S. really want from Iran, and how far is Washington willing to go to get it?
Now I hear that Iran is trying to build up again, and if they are, we're going to have to knock them down. We'll knock them down. We'll knock the hell out of them, but hopefully that's not happening. I heard Iran wants to make a deal. If they want to make a deal, that's much smarter. You know, they could have made a deal the last time before we went through, a big attack.
It all started on December 29. Speaking alongside Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, Trump warned that if Iran was rebuilding its nuclear program, the U.S. would knock the hell out of them, promising consequences more powerful than the last time.
I hope they're not trying to build up again, because if they are, we're going to have no choice but very quickly to eradicate that buildup. So I hope Iran is not trying to build up, as I've been reading that they're building up weapons and other things. And if they are, they're not using the sites that we obliterated, but they're using possibly different sites. We know exactly where they're going, what they're doing, and I hope they're not doing it because we don't want to waste the fuel.
By January 2nd, with mass protests shaking Iran over economic collapse, Trump doubled down, saying the U.S. was locked and loaded, ready to go, pledging to protect demonstrators if they were attacked. January 6th brought another twist. After U.S. operations in Venezuela and the capture of Nicolas Maduro, Trump posed with a Make Iran Great Again hat, repeating promises to safeguard protesters amid a deadly crackdown. January 10th, the president proclaimed the USA stands ready to help, even as reports of hundreds of deaths poured in from protests. Iran's parliament responded sharply, warning that U.S. and Israeli targets could become legitimate if attacked.
Yesterday, Iran called to negotiate. Yesterday, the leaders of Iran called, they want to negotiate. I think they're tired of being beat up by the United States. Iran wants to negotiate, yes. We may meet with them. I mean, the meeting is being set up, but we may have to act because of what's happening before the meeting. But a meeting is being set up. Iran called, they want to negotiate.
January 13th, Trump announced new 25% tariffs on countries doing business with Iran, though no official paperwork was released, and the measures were never implemented. Meanwhile, he encouraged protesters to take over their institutions.
All Iranian patriots, keep protesting, take over your institutions if possible, and save the name of the killers and the abusers that are abusing you. You're being very badly abused. If the numbers are right now, I hear 5 different sets of numbers. I hear numbers, look, 1 death is too much. But I hear much lower numbers, and then I hear much higher numbers. But I say save their names because they'll pay a very big price. And I've canceled all meetings with the Iranian officials until the senseless killing of protesters stops. And all I say to them is help is on its way. You saw that I put tariffs on anybody doing business with Iran. Just went into effect today. And I say make Iran great again. You know, it's a great country until these monsters came.
January 14th, in a surprising pivot, Trump claimed the killings were stopping and there were no executions planned, even as thousands had already died under the regime's brutal crackdown. Military action was still on the table, but U.S. allies urged restraint.
You know, we have a lot of ships going that direction, just in case. We have a big flotilla going in that direction. And we'll see what happens.
We have a big force going toward Iran. I'd rather not see anything happen, but we're watching them very closely. I stopped 837 hangings on Thursday. They would have been dead. Every one of them would have been hung. This is like from 1,000 years ago. This is an ancient culture. Very smart people, by the way, but it's an ancient culture. 837, mostly young men, were going to be hung on Thursday. And I said, if you hang those people, you're going to be hit harder than you've ever been hit. It'll make what we did to your Iran nuclear look like peanuts. And an hour before this horrible thing was going to take place, they canceled it. And they actually said they canceled it. They didn't postpone it. They canceled it. So that was a good sign. But we have an Armada. We have a massive fleet heading in that direction. And maybe we won't have to use it. We'll see.
January 22nd, the president shifted focus again, sending the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln and guided missile destroyers to the Middle East, just in case, Trump said, as Iran's crackdown left over 5,000 dead. Finally, January 28th, Trump made his strongest statement yet. Iran must make a deal or face U.S. military action. He insisted the country would have no nuclear weapons, making clear that the U.S. is combining pressure, diplomacy, and the looming threat of force. In just 1 month, Trump's strategy shifted from protecting protesters to imposing tariffs, threatening regime change, and demanding nuclear disarmament. One thing is clear, the U.S.-Iran standoff is evolving fast. The world is watching, and the next move could come at any moment.
Subscribe to One India and never miss an update. Download the One India app now.